episode of season 2 is, does your upbringing or your social environment, so that's your background, does that affect how you conduct yourself in a romantic relationship? So with your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend?
It does. If you grow up, I believe, in a house full of love, you also start learning how to give that same love to another person. If you grow up in a house without, I grew up in a single household, so sometimes relationships are confusing. Like, yeah, what's going on here? You know, after a while, you don't know what you're supposed to do. You get to what you feel like is maybe a threshold. Do I put it more? Do I stop now?
I'm gonna stray slightly and just talk about myself and my own personal relationship with my parents and how it's affected my relationships as an adult. I think growing up, my dad was very much the head of the house. So everything he said was kind of like, that's what you had to do. And
no question.
Absolutely hated it, but I had no option because I wanted to eat and go to school and eat nice things. So as I grew up, I realized even with my relationships with the men, I would end up being more like my dad, wanting to be the one that's telling the guy what to do. And the moment the guy would tell me what to do, even in a loving way, I'd be like, oh, I only have one dad, yo.
It's not you.
But yeah, it's not you. So I had to learn that about myself. And I think, to be honest, people should do a lot of self-introspection and see where their weaknesses are. Once I knew that about myself, I realized that I need to be able to, how can I put it? Not see everything as an attack, especially when you're in a romantic relationship. A lot of the time as women, we want to assume that he's trying to control me, he's trying to come at me, but a lot of the time, some of the things that men do are genuinely out of love. So it's a matter of just opening your heart and your mind up to understanding each other.
The environment and your upbringing, it can only affect you to a certain point, and then there's a time where it's now up to you.
Accountability.
You know,
Yeah. You take control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I grew up in the avenues. Like, right there, we were tomorrow and, you know, them ladies like, hey, come on, like that.
Wow.
And usually,
How old were you? How old were you?
Like 14, 15, it's like, hey, I can't be using Maria change like that.
Wow.
Oh, doing that at all. But it was a case where things could have gone any direction. I've had friends who've grown up in places where life was difficult. My high school I spent in Loyal, in a neighborhood where if I sat down with the boys and I asked, what do you want to do in A-level? They didn't understand why you wanted to even go there. And these are people who had very dysfunctional relationships. But I personally got to a point where I was like, you know what, no. I'm going to try. Like, I still suck at it. But I did get to a point where I was like, I'm going to try to fix myself as I go along. Take every relationship and stop looking at things from the past, how you grew up, certain things, but just each day, I guess, as it comes. What do I do? What does she do tomorrow? Today? What's going to happen tomorrow? If I get angry, why? You know, sit down and really think about things. It helps.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I remember I had this one young lady that once worked for me and she shared her story with me. And basically growing up, she grew up really well, like in Florida. Then her dad decided to get another wife. He brought the wife back into their house. And then basically there was just chaos happening. They couldn't live in harmony. Because to get two women to share one man in one house, whew, I don't know.
Of course.
Good luck to you, right? So it didn't work out. Then eventually her and her mom had to get shipped out. And they went to Kambuzu, right? And as they were living there, she's told herself that when I grow up, I don't want to marry a man that's rich because I'll get abused. So already she's already affected in terms of the kind of guy she's now gonna go for.
Yeah.
I have a question though. Aaliyah. Okay, I think this is something that like all of us should also ask.
Yeah.
Well, because I'd like to think I know like the backgrounds of everybody here, your relationship status, but okay, Aaliyah, are you in a relationship? You are in a relationship, okay. Now, mind if you talk about your parents, their relationship?
My parents are together and whatever my dad says goes. And my mom is like, just follows what my dad says. So she actually sits down with me and tells me, if you are in a relationship, if your guy tells you this, that is what you're going to do. That is what you have to do, because if you know that the man is the head of the house, that is what he is going to be. So it has to follow suit. So definitely your background somehow, or my background somehow, it affects the relationships that I am in, because I have to do A, B, C, D, because my mom has done A, B, C, D, because definitely my mom is like my role model. Whatever she does, I have to.
Like something. So do you think you're gonna be like your mom in a relationship because she was like that?
Sure. One
Or
thing.
are you like your mom? Did you
Is
say
that how
you're
you
in a
conduct your
relationship?
Partly.
relationship?
How so?
Because you know what, like he said, he's like you have to make a choice somehow at some point. It does not necessarily mean that if my mom does this 100%, I do it 100%. Yes, I might do it 80%, but the 20% is up to me, because maybe the character of my boyfriend is different from the character of my father.
I've found a lot of women, not just women I'm related to, but women that I've worked with who have lived under the same roof as a man who is similar to their knives, dad, how you said, and what you said about your dad. What he says goes. However, the mothers would always talk to the daughters and say, okay, you know what, you must obey your husband, but just like one of these things, okay, listen, what I told you about your dad, that you need to look out for yourself, this is what you need to do, A, B, C, and D. Is that something, okay, is that something that your mother's ever like sat down with you and had that talk with you?
Sure. I wouldn't think my mom did it in that way. My mom is a very headstrong person. So as much as everything went with my dad, it was kind of like, now you're crazy. So I think...
So she stood her ground.
Like she stood her ground. But obviously as children now, you know, there's this, my dad had this vibe, like I love him to this, but he has this vibe when he walks into a room, you're like, hey guys, let's go to bed. Our favorite show is on, but the body is there, let's go dance, because who knows what he's gonna ask us today, like I'm just not ready. But yeah, I think she stood her ground, like in a balanced fashion, and honestly, yeah, I think she taught us how to be women that don't take nonsense. Yeah.
I'm just gonna digress a little bit. Just
Let's all digress.
just I mean, if I'm probably to ask, just generally. I mean, how many times have you had conversations about relationships in marriage with either your dad or your mom?
I love this.
I made sure I had a conversation with my mom and dad.
Like for some of us, I mean, it was never like that.
Can I just say?
Some of it you just had to figure
Hold on,
it out.
Kanye. Let him finish.
You just had to figure it out. Not saying they won't talk about it, but there are times when you need to sit down and say, right, this is what's going on in my life, and this is how do you handle such a situation, you know, like the deep stuff. I'm not talking like surface stuff. I mean, maybe something else. I mean, she's eager.
I think possibly the reason why that didn't happen, it's funny, I was having a conversation like that, about that with a friend the other day, because we were talking about how fathers are with their children, and generally in African culture, the father is just expected to bring home the bacon and provide for his children and his family, and then the raising of the children, these intimate conversations and things like that are conducted by the mother. I've never spoken about that kind of stuff with my dad, and will probably only speak about it when I'm about to get married. And I think that is late. I think that's late. So I think that's why it happens like that. I'm not surprised that you would ask a question like that or say that it's never happened to you, because I think it happens all the time. In African culture, do you talk to your kids about sex?
Even when
Sexual
you get married,
education, yeah.
It can become a bit awkward, because I tried having that discussion with my mom. I was like, Mom,
I thought it's because you did
I want to
that.
talk about
It's 'cause
bedroom.
you started like that. Girl, really?
I want to talk about bedroom things. I could totally tell, like, the Christian in her came in and she was like, what do I say? She was like, well, you know, some things you just have to pray about. I said, I knew you were going to say that. I knew.
You're praying
I
about
knew
sex.
because I think it's a very awkward. I think they don't know how to. I don't know. I don't think they know how to have that discussion because.
Like it's different.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So that was like passed down. Like I'm just
You
thinking
know,
about
and the same
generation
thing
to
with marriage.
generation.
No one talked to them about it, so now they don't know how to talk to you about it.
Even when I got married, like as a black Zim chick, right? All of a sudden I'm married, I'm supposed to know all these cultural things. Who told me? Who? I was living my whole life, the so-called Saturday and the B-dales of life, and then all of a sudden, when you're married, you're supposed to know everything. And it's like, but why would you expect me
You never
to
did
know
that
that?
at home.
That's why you have to be taught before, so that when they ask you, do you know this? You say, oh yeah, I had, someone who told me that. And that person was my mom because my mom was like my best friend. We talked about everything and all that.
Yeah, but they don't.
So they are-
Very few of them do.
I think the chain got cut on the tete phase.
The
The
teachers are now awkward.
relationships.
The teachers are now
Like-
awkward.
like-
Our teachers became a salad.
No, not even that. No, not even. Some are actually legit just awkward. Like,
In distance.
Wait, hold on. Why do you say that?
In distance is what?
No, I mean, what do you say? The cities are not that.
The whole them knowing that culturally, because then culturally they should come to you, teach you these things. Like it's not always about you.
but what if
reaching
your
out as a
tete
child.
is in UK?
Oh,
Right?
salad, actually.
No, but no, the thing is, like,
This guy
you don't
is
live in
crazy.
the same
Come on, man.
country. And also, guys, you need to consider relationship dynamics. I think that a lot of the time you think just because you're blood, you have a relationship. That's
It's
not
not
the same.
always that way.
Just because someone's your tete doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're going to be close with them. You might actually be closer with your Ramai or something.
Yeah,
So I think
very true.
putting everything on your tete, I think that mindset also needs to change. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
From me personally, right? Others might differ. But I think relationships like that are personal. To have those personal kind of discussions, you can't force a relationship. If the relationship is not there with the tete is really not to blame. The daughter of whoever is not to blame. Relationships are personal. If it's not there, it's just not there. I don't think it's a matter of someone being a salad or a non-salad and getting some.
I also think you can be a salad and still know cultural things.
Yeah, that's true.
How does your social environment, your social exposure, so now we're talking about your friends and things like that. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was saying he works with a lady who is pregnant at the moment, and it could be one of 3 guys. So he was asking me, listen, would you be offended if your husband or your baby daddy asked you to have a paternity test? And now obviously he was saying, listen, when I have my kids, regardless of anything that happens, I'm going to want a paternity test. So his social environment has already affected the way he is going to conduct his relationship.
Wait, sorry, hold on. He said regardless, he'd want to have a paternity test.
Regardless, he's like, you know
Why?
what? He said, because of this, clearly women can wild.
Chicks are shady.
Chicks are shady. So even when I meet my person, we're in a relationship, I want to have paternity test so that I am sure.
To what ends though? So let's say you found out that the child, okay, I should ask him that he's not sure, but anyway, fine.
But that's an example of how your social environment, your friends, people you meet
That also means
outside
that
the family.
that just shows that you're impressionable and you aren't necessarily secure in yourself and who you are. You allow yourself to be influenced by the thoughts of other people. At the end of the day, fine and fair, your friends aren't going to be there when you go to bed with your partner. Your friends aren't going to be there in the morning when you
Hope
wake
so.
up. When you make breakfast. Hey, no. I have this one girlfriend, and at a certain point, I realized that she liked to fight. She wanted to argue about stuff. And like, I'm really not that guy. Even I'm not confrontational, but I will voice my opinions, or I'm not gonna like scrap or like raise my voice. So we were in a relationship, and she's like, my nigga, but, can't. And it got to the point where I realized, yo, this girl actually wants to fight. And then we're talking about her parents' relationship and how they fought. And now I'm thinking back to my relationship with my parents and their relationship and how they never fought. Over 20-something years, I've never seen my parents fight, cuss each other out. They would talk. Yes, they'll be mad, but they would talk, simply have a conversation. So now I'm in a relationship with this person, and it's
Trying to
hard
fight.
for us to discuss something, be it a heated topic without us raising our voices. And that just wasn't me. So we're talking about how it affects your relationships with people. So to me, I'm over here, I'm very calm, I can talk to you, even when we get into arguments and stuff, but I won't like try to scrap it in this her over here. That's her version, that's the picture that's been painted for her. That's how you relate. That's the relationship. And even up to now, it's still hard for me. There's certain people that I won't say I'm necessarily falling out with, but they just think, okay, man's weird because I don't express myself the same way as them.
I've got a question, but from the stories everyone's been saying, I have one of my own where there's a girl I actually dated where every time things got calm, if you had 2 weeks of calm, you knew there was a storm coming.
Too good to be true.
She would literally find anything. Oh, you don't answer your phone now. Nigga, I sent you that message at 5 a.m. Like, anything could set her off, and things would just get very dramatic. Because I think she wasn't used to one being with someone who wasn't about drama. Because you start asking about her relationships, her past relationships
that's what
with
she
her
knew.
parents, and you find that was it. Like, it was always drama. So when there was no drama for her, things were going wrong. It was off script. So she always looked for it, and that's what people do.
Can I ask something?
Then now I feel like you're chuckling. Is this you? Why aren't you answering your phone? Why aren't you?
No, not even. You know, why I'm laughing is because I feel like every man that I've ever met is peaceful. There must be a lie somewhere. There is no way on planet Earth that all of a sudden all the men on this planet are the peaceful ones and the women are the crazies. There's a lie somewhere in that. Because it's impossible. I kid you not,
Lies
there's
that you don't believe.
Wow.
There's some lack of accountability or
Yeah.
twist of telling the story. Because you cannot tell me 110% of the men on this planet are peaceful. And it's the woman that's crazy.
So is
And likes to fight.
Is that where the definition of drama queen comes from?
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm
No, anyway, we digress.
asking this question.
Very
You know why I'm asking this
interesting.
question? Because it's something that's very common. I've never had a discussion with a man that will ever say that I was in a relationship with a woman and she liked to fight. Oh, she didn't like to fight. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
always the woman likes to fight.
Or to actually say, I started the trouble.
Yeah. I'm asking you, are there guys out there that like to fight
Yeah,
in
but
relationships? I don't know.
They're
But I
there.
think fighting is something that happens
Yeah.
both sides, right? And some people actually fight different. Some people can just go silent. After fight, there's nothing, and you're like, so what's going on? I mean, what's she thinking? We take things from society to say, listen, when you fight in a relationship, it means it's a good relationship.
I don't think so. I think it's terrible.
You need a bit of a fight so that it's good. But what happens to those that have a good relationship for 40 years and they never fought?
So I know we're all talking about, I used to date this person and they used to fight. They like to fight. They acknowledge love through fighting. If someone came to you and pointed out your weakness and said, do you perhaps think that it's because of your friends or it's because of how you were raised? How would you feel? Just in conclusion.
Someone that I'm close to and that I trust and I know that they want the best for me, I know their intentions are good. Because I always think it comes down to intention. Some people say things not to build you but to break you.
Yeah.
So it's also important for you to be able to discern which is which in a situation. So I think I'd totally be open to it, but I need to know that person and where their heart is at regarding me.
I'd probably be touched. But if it's someone who you're in love with or who loves you, you will take time to listen to what they're saying. But broken people are broken people. Us broken people sometimes can be an issue. So it's good to be with someone who actually knows and can let you know. And we don't want the world to get to a point where people start saying we're not. Broken people on one side.
Same WhatsApp.
It shouldn't get there.
Yeah. No.
So I would take it. I would take it in my stride and try to see if I can work with it. I think.
Okay.
It should be hard to take. It's hard to take. Like what you just said. But I think sometimes when you sit down and you process it, it actually makes sense. I've got to correct it. Because I tend to struggle trying to correct something immediately. Tell me something, the problem is okay, it's trying to change. But when you sit down and then you think about it, they're actually making sense. I've got to fix it somehow. And then you work at it. The fortunate thing or the unfortunate thing is that in life you've got to work on things.